Hello you guys, welcome back to another video on this channel. Today we have a podcast episode here for you, as I'm sure you could tell. And I do have my co-host back here again, being a sleepy boy. I don't know if y'all can see him this way or if I gotta go this way, but he is back there and cooperating at that. He's a kitten, so I'm happy he's in the state of filming because y'all, yup, if you've ever had a kitten, you know. Today, y'all, I have a feeling that I feel like I am processing in real time. This is not a reflecting what I've learned. I mean, I guess it kind of always comes out, but this is straight from the heart, straight from the dome. I was literally writing about it yesterday. I'm feeling very reflective during this time. I think I've mentioned this before. I've been on YouTube for like a year and a half. I was here last October, and I always think like the holiday season is very reflective for me, um, because I get weird when I'm talking about my trauma. Give me a second. Year right now is 2025. I almost said 2026. Um, and 3 years ago is when I was in an abusive relationship, a relationship that was abusive emotionally and sexually. And I really started my channel when I was going through the effects of after the abusive relationship, processing everything, being in therapy. Like, honestly, I'm 22. I turn 23 next month. And I started the YouTube channel when I was 21. And I feel like 21, like my year of 21 was the worst mental health I think I've ever had. Like, I felt like ever since I graduated high school, I felt like every year my mental health progressively got worse from like, you know, getting out of high school, becoming an adult, having my first heartbreak, being depressed for the first time, trying therapy for the first time, and then going through things, jobs, friends, getting into an abusive relationship, then getting out of it. I'm like, who knew like it could get worse getting out? My mental health could get worse. Like, I truly don't know which one was better, but it was honestly just really hard to have bad mental health. Like, if you've left a situation, you know it's not really done just because you leave. Like, there's a lot still left up here. So I felt like 21, I left the relationship when I was 20. And then 21 was like the most anxiety, depressed, not really feeling my life type of year that I've ever had, which I say shout out to the 1,000 of you guys, and even more 20,000 of you guys on TikTok, and even more people on my Instagram who have like really been there through that, where I'm like, I've been a consistent poster influencer for like 2 years now, almost three, posting like almost every single day. And I'm like, it really does like mean a lot that like I am this person who does this, because in like the past years being in an abusive relationship, doing that, and then post dealing with the effects and feeling like I could share, and like, oh my God, people actually related to me in like a time where I felt so alone physically, really does mean a lot to me. It means a lot. But at 22, I just gave you all a little breakdown, is the first year of like being an adult. I still don't feel like an adult, but I'm really out here, y'all. Like, I'm class of 2020. I graduated 5 years ago. Like, that's crazy. Um, but this is the first year where I'm like, this was better than last year. This year was way better than when I was 21. Way, 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 way. And I want to say that to anyone who may be struggling in any type of way, because I'm going to make a whole episode on that, on like the reoccurring feelings and kind of like the reminders of seasons when you were like in trauma. But this one kind of plays off of that feeling. So 22 has been so much better. Like, part of it has been a huge part of it. When people say go to therapy, try it. Black people, any community that tries to go to therapy. Last year was actually my second time trying therapy. Helped so much. I work with a therapist who specifically dealt with people in abusive relationships. I don't know, like, her words and recommendations, and of course it was me too, but it was also just time. Like, I spent a lot of time with my family, trying new things. At the beginning of 22, like I said, I'm almost 23. I had a new relationship that wasn't great, but it did help a little bit in the sense of like, for almost the 2 years I was single in between, all I had to fall back on memories was just like abuse, abuse, abuse. And it's like, it feels like it just stayed. And I'm like, now, like, my most recent memories aren't that, but it's not. Time and new experiences really helps. That's all I'm gonna say. And like, especially in the sense that my abusive relationship and the relationship before that, I've only been in love 3 times. So the last one was the third, the abusive one was the second. My first 2 times in love, I stayed with those people long overdue for a whole year. And my last relationship was only 4 months. Like, again, the tools and the time and the healing and picking myself back up that I've done, I feel like clocked it and made me strong enough to be like, after 4 months, this is good. This is not serving me. You know what I mean? I know I'm good. And I'm so thankful for therapy and all the tools I've had to feel that way and be a strong, independent woman. But anyway, kind of just catching up in my mind, and to anyone who's new here. So I've been single since February of this year. Like I said, mental health has been great. Cut situations short way earlier than I used to. I just know how to fall back into myself and stick up for myself and use tools not to fall back into the places I used to be. But being that girl who does what needs to be done can get lonely. It can get lonely, y'all. To all my other relatable lover girls, people, like, I'm that person when I'm single, babes. We together, whether we're official or not, or I'm single. You know what I mean? I'm talking to one person at a time, or I'm not talking to anybody at all. Like, that's just how I am. So since February, I really haven't had like a true connection or whatever, right? Like last month, I actually have a story time coming soon of me going on my first date in a while and how that turned out. It was very short lived. Like, okay, boom, I actually did see someone, had like the start of a connection, but still nothing too crazy. But like, something, seeing someone physically as someone who stays inside my house and I feel like just doesn't meet new people often, was still like a step for me. So in the what, 7, almost 8 months ish, that's the only inkling of connection, like physical connection and like physically seeing someone that I've ever had. And like I said, I'm a real lover. Like, I'm so secluded and so strict about who I even start talking to or who I'll go on a date with. Like, no shade to my girls who have different ways of dating or company. Power to any girl who wants to do anything that makes her feel good, but I don't like always have someone to text, have a roster, always have someone to FaceTime, always have a guy I can call like, oh, if I just want free food. Like, I don't have that, y'all. Like, I really be by myself. Like, you with my friends, like, see my friends every once in a while. Most weekends I'm just doing me and my cat. You know what I'm saying? So it can get like lonely. I've like been really good these past 7, 8 months. Like I said, just again standing in my power where I'm like, I'd rather be by myself than dealing with that stress or like whatever. And I came to like the epiphany. I think like that little date, that little week talking stage, it's like, as a girl who's like so into her solitude, when there's like, I feel like a chance, or like I said, I did get excited about that start of the connection and stuff. It's kind of like a reminder of like what I used to feel, or like the potential that's out there. um and I feel like it takes me out of my like hermit mode a little bit, which is good to have. But I was feeling lonely about how your girl has it. Oh, you better get away from that light. Man, you're messing up my setup. You know better. Yeah. And that's why I'm about to get the spray bottle. I was writing about, these feelings, and I came to the epiphany how I was like, feeling by myself is like, it's peaceful and it's nice. But I've always thought of like the question when someone's like single or taken, and how a lot of people are like being single is just so much more uh cool, you don't have to worry about this and that. But then some people are like taken because they're like it's nice to have someone to love, someone to blah blah. And I've always been like I feel like I can't pick one because I came to the realization that I'm like I'm feeling lonely now, I hate wasted potential. I don't want to regret the things I do, but it's kind of like what was the point if it was going to be so short lived? Like I could have just stayed in my solitude. But I'm like I feel lonely right now, for obvious reasons. Like your girl hasn't got play. It's just like the relationships I look back on are like, eh. And that's what got me where I was just like, I feel alone when I'm alone in a relationship sense. Like not seeing anyone, don't have someone's FaceTime every day to hang out with. But I'm like, I reflected on my relationships, especially the abusive one, but even the last one, and I'm like, but you know what? I think back to feelings that I had in my relationships and just like the types of men that I dated. And of course, at first it's fun. Y'all don't know that much about each other. They don't show their bad parts. They fake their personality. But I'm like, in relationships, I also feel lonely because, and I don't think every man will make me feel this way, but the types of people I've dated, because I've made plenty of videos about this. How y'all, she's a Scorpio. If you didn't already know, if you didn't already know, a girl runs deep. A girl runs deep when it comes to my feelings. Like I feel very sensitive. I feel very deeply. I notice lots of things, but it all comes from a place of love. And I also recognize how it's not about feeling deeply and being this type of person. It's also about the way you operate and go about these large feelings. I've said my wrongs before in my past, like especially the first time I was ever in love with someone. It's definitely about how you operate. There's ways to go about these feelings and communications and what you didn't like and all that stuff. Um, I feel like I used to be more of a reactive person, just not sure how to process these big emotions, wasn't taught that growing up. But like I said, in therapy and a lot of relationships, I've done plenty of work. Get away from that light. You air gel. Air gel. He trying to ruin the video again. But anyway, being a person who is so passionate and so deeply, and like who sometimes, I know we all feel this, but sometimes I really think about like my dating preferences and like my boundaries and the way I want the person I end up with to think and feel the same ways about things I do. And I think like, will anyone ever be like me? Because it's like almost every relationship has made me feel like no matter I communicate in a proper way or a not so proper way like I used to, I've always felt so misunderstood and like alone in my deep feelings. Like whether that's brushed off or negative reactions. And yeah, like I literally remember telling, like when I was in an abusive relationship, telling my partner that and crying to him that like I felt alone because these big feelings and these deep conversations needing some outlet and some support from who you're with and all that to just be with someone who, of course, your partner can be your everything. I have my sister, my dad, my friends that I also process conversations with, but your partner is your rock. Their job is to be there. Your job is to be there. Like you're there to hold each other and help each other through it, and feeling like I'm constantly with people who just didn't know what to do with all that or didn't like all that but said they like that but just not at this time or not as much or blah blah, or who love that side of me at first are like I love your openness and your honesty and your communication. I've never met a girl like that. And then all of a sudden you start to hate it. They hate a rubbish that holds them accountable. Like what? It's very lonely. Like I said, I've been in bad relationships, I've been in abusive relationships, and it's like, it sucks being that person where it's like, I feel like I can't fully be myself because when it came to abuse, either like that might mean abuse or it just might mean something negative, and it just felt better to just keep down, down, down. And honestly, I don't know how much I did that in my last relationship because, like I said, how I've grown so much and I really can't be tamed down. But I guess just in the sense of like how long I dealt with the BS that I did. Um, Always stood 10 toes down about my boundaries though. But whether I was still with that person and still communicated and was still unapologetic with myself, but still got negative emotions, it's still lonely and still in part like I was choosing it, but like even though you're still being yourself and getting negative reactions, how could you feel supported? You know? How can you truly feel supported being with people who constantly water you down? I don't know. And yeah, it just made me think like, yes, I feel lonely. I want that intimacy. I want that person to call and to hang out with. It is cuffing season, you know what I'm saying? Literally my last relationship started last cuffing season, and I always wonder what the cuffing season will bring. It's not looking too bright right now. But so I just think to myself that like it is lonely and sometimes hard. As someone who loves love, I'm never like, I don't want to see that happy. I'm never that corny person. Every time I see a little video, every time I see an engagement, those videos, whatever, I watch it. Best believe, especially Black Love. Hey, T, that's my future and it's looking real bright. But like sometimes, like last night, looking at it and writing about how I felt, it does make me a little sad because I'm like, I know it's not easy even though people make it look easier. For some people, it's like their relationship or the partnership can feel easy and free because it's who they're supposed to be with. But like the journey to get in there, I'm sure was not easy. I don't see everything. I just see a little video. But sometimes it just looks so easy. Or you like you see those people who have been in bad relationships, but as soon as they got out, they got with someone new and who's better, and now it's their husband. And I'm like, sometimes it just does make me like a little sad, as we can all relate. Which is why I said this one's not an advice one. This is a feeling I'm processing in real time. I know things are subject to change and I don't know what could happen to me, but I think like I've come to that like my worst fear is like I feel alone by myself, but I've also felt alone and not the whole relationship. Okay? Like I could be real. I can be real. Like I said, there's highs and lows even when I was in an abusive relationship, but majority of the time and in way too many moments than not, I also feel lonely. And I'm like, I'd rather just settle with myself if it came to why would I want to feel alone with someone when I could just feel alone myself. But I'm like, I don't want to repeat that. I was like, I don't want to feel lonely when I'm supposed to be with someone just to have one cup full, me pouring somebody's cup, mine all the way empty. Like, I don't want that again. And I'm so over like the law of attraction or what you are, what you attract, and blah, blah, blah type of thing because I'm realized I'm tired of saying it myself and hearing it myself because I'm like, low key, y'all, that's victim blaming. Like, if y'all are new here, you already know I'm not religious. I don't believe in like a faith, like a just do this and this will happen. It's kind of like a similar idea, but like in a spiritual sense. I'm like, no. Sometimes situations are just sucky. Like it low key sounds like victim blaming. Like, oh, it's because you're not here, because you're not this, or maybe you're not ready. No, like one of my most viral videos. I'm like, no, sometimes it just sucks, and we don't know, and I don't got the answer, and you don't got the answer either. So just shut up, okay? Okay, like I said, I feel like a lot of girlies try to say that as like an uplift, like when you do this or when you do that. No, love and things change in your life no matter what point you're at. Like the highest, the lowest, the it's not you have to do this or you have to do that. Like I'm totally unsubscribing from that whole belief. Um I feel like no one has that answer and changes just change. I mean, you can believe whatever you want to believe if you have a faith system or whatever. But at the end of the day, to me, I think it's just this life shit. Like, so yeah, y'all, I don't know. It's cuffing season. You know what I'm saying? I'm open, as always. to things that are meant for me, new experiences, trying to get out of my comfort zone. I'm almost a 23-year-old still homebody. I mean, that's never going to change, but I do enjoy partnership. I do enjoy having someone. Like I said, in the moments where you actually have someone, you know, and it's reciprocated, it's all that. I'm like, I'm so over. I'm so over. Like, if I had to pick alone in a relationship or alone by myself, I'm choosing alone by myself and I'm not settling for anything less. But we don't know what could happen. And to anyone else feeling similarly, hugs, 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 because I get it. And like I said, I've been single for 7, 8 months. It feels like a while. Like this year just really flew. And like I said, because my mental health has been so great, like it wasn't this like just depressive, like real, like y'all. Like I said, at 22, y'all can't pry this crown off my head. Like therapy taught me better. Like it wasn't this whole thing like my breakups were when I was younger. So, but like I said, if you're not new to my channel, like when I first started, I was single for almost 2 years. Seriously, like barely any dates in between or anything. So I know. But we gonna figure it out. And if we gotta figure it out and spend some time by ourselves, or not even by ourselves, because like I said, I made that video before. Community, I got some spooky plans with my friends next week. I'm so excited. We have people, but again, nothing can replace romantic love, and I know that. So just hang in there. Good luck, Charlie. No, I'm playing. I literally just watched a Good Luck Charlie Halloween episode today. um Y'all know I love good Halloween reruns during this time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening slash watching me through this whole episode. I hope I said something you could take with you. Anyways, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.